Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay, and we thank God for those of you that have been with us since the beginning. Those of you who have been with us, there's and there's about, and those of you who have just subscribed. All praises to the Most High. Even those of you that are about to subscribe or contemplating subscribing. Yes, we are controversial. But how controversial can you be when you're reading straight exactly from the context of the book, then the chapter, then the verse? I'm not jumping from here to there and over here. We're going through the context of things. Yes, we are. Yes. So far we've seen that Isaiah is projecting, is showing him to project what is about to come, even unto the last one, which is the Persians and the Medes. Yes, the Persians and the Medes. All these things you read in the Old Testament, if you go back into the previous chapters from this Isaiah chapter 23, you're going to find out, you'll find them in the book of Revelation, what they use to bamboozle you. Yes. And we're coming upon the Sabbath. This is the eve of the Sabbath, and we are rejoicing. Thank the Most High. Sit back, relax, chill. You might not have a sacrifice. You might not do that which you can do, especially in obedience to the laws, commandments, statutes, and ordinances. Yes, and that which you can do unto your wife or wives, and how that the Most High told you to do according to marital duties and marital obligations, and also those things that you have to do unto your neighbor, and those things that we putting the Most High first. But we're going to get into the law soon. We're going to get back into the law and observing some more things that maybe I might have glanced over. We're going to put that in a new area. I'm going to call it walking in the law. That's about it. Walking in the law. And it's coming up very soon. And this Sabbath Eve, you say, well, how is that the Sabbath? I thought Saturday was the Sabbath. No, Saturday is a Gregorian. It's a pagan day. Period. Thank you. It's a pagan day. Saturday is the seventh day. It's for the Romans. It's for the Egyptians. These things have been taken from the Egyptians to the Romans to the Greeks and all these other people. Yes, they are not of the children of Israel. The time that you notice that Ethiopia, years behind the rest of the world, the day is even different. But those have been colonized, those have been taken by the paganistic religious Abrahamic faith, should I say, called Christianity. And Islam has a new day. They have changed the laws and the times. Look in your New Testament. Some of the laws are changed. It's subtle, but it is changed. Why not go to the original? Why is the Surah so important when you have the original document that the Most High have given the prophet Moses? Is it out of rebellion? Is it out of your own pride, wanting to be separate? We are a special people. For these things have been given to the world long before, should I say, Abram, before Jacob. There were statutes, laws, and commandments given down to the children of earth. They were the people that God had given laws that they should not kill. They had even adultery. Even marriage, they knew these laws. The laws was written elsewhere. How would Noah even get off the boat and have the books too that were given to him from his father, even Methuselah? How would he? There were laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances before them, but they somehow were taken, they were lost in their sojourning through Egypt. And then it's kind of weird. It's funny how the Egyptians come up with the disciplines. but yet they were pagans. How is this? It's good to be moral, yes, but this is about our God. Although they had their disciplines, but that was only in their priestly and their religious sector, but the rest practiced all types of immorality. Coming up with all manner of gods, gods of the sea, gods of the moon and the stars, naming them off. Then you got these who would try to explaining it, telling you that the Egyptians were just being thankful for these things. No, they were worshiping him. All the way from Egypt to India, worshiping the water, worshiping anything they could find that they thought was greater than themselves. Some even to the point where they worshiped their own kings and means. Even Pharaoh thought he was a god, even to the point of Babylon during that point in history. Yes, but the fact is, there is only one. Beside him, there is no other God. This I am that I am, Yahweh, Yahuwah, has no son, neither does this spirit beget. Doesn't lay with the creation that was created by the spirit, but have told everything from the beginning. Be fruitful and multiply, even multiply after your kind. That was the end of the creation right there. The cycle goes on through what the Most High have commanded in your bodies. The body of the animal, the body of the human, the birds, the fishes, everything has to create, or we can't create anything. We take those things that are already made and we fashion things after them. This makes them inanimate. But we do have the animation on film and then robots or whatever. But the fact is that God has the Most High, even Yahweh, Yahuwah, Tata Nzami Sinu Nanini, yes, created you that you might bear after your own kind. You haven't created anything, woman, neither have you, man. It is all fashioned inside of you. It's all in you. Your brain has no control over it either. Once you copulate or lay with your wife, you have become one, and then therefore one becomes. It makes one. Sometimes two or three, depending. But either way, enough of that. We thank the Most High for you, and we thank God for this beautiful Sabbath that is about to come upon us. And we're in Isaiah chapter 23 and verse 1. The burden of Tyre, howl, ye ships of Tarshish, for it is laid waste, so that there is no house, no entering in, nor the land of Chittim it is revealed to them. Be still, ye inhabitants of the isles, thou whom the merchants of Zidon that pass over the sea have replenished. And by the great waters, the seed of Sihor, the harvest of the river, is her revenue. And she is a mart of nations. In other words, it's giving us some background of what Tyre is. It was a port city. Tyre was a port city. Merchants would come in and out and they would trade goods and wares and everything else. I mean, there was a bustling area, exchanging ideas, idolatries, and all manner of evils too. He said, be thou ashamed, O Zidon, for the sea has spoken, even the strength of the sea, saying, I travail not, nor bring forth children. No, the sea doesn't. God doesn't either. There is no wife that the Most High has, because the Most High is not a man. Nor bring forth children, nor do I nourish up young men, nor bring up virgins. The sea doesn't do this. This is a true saying. As at the report concerning Egypt, so shall they be sorely pained at the report of Tyre. For that, you go back into the previous chapter. You see what the Most High has made the Egyptians do, to walk butt naked into captivity. Pass ye over to Tarshish, howl ye inhabitants of the isle. This is your joyous city, whose antiquity is of ancient days. Her own feet shall carry her far off to sojourn. She's going to be taken captive. The people you see inside Tyre today is not them. They are not the ones. All in that area, the Most High has replaced everything because of the idolatrous sin of these places and countries, except for Ethiopia. He says, who have taken this counsel against Tyre, the crowning city, whose merchants are princes? They've gotten rich, is what he's saying, whose traffickers are honorable of the earth. I mean, these are people with fleets, and they have boats, and they can go anywhere and transport mails and letters and goods and wares, cloths, all manner of things. And it had made them rich. Even drugs. The I am of hosts hath purposed it to stain the pride of all glory and to bring into contempt all the honorable of the earth. There's an end to everything. The Most High has a way. It takes a little while sometimes, and we think that because you have it good, that nothing is going to befall you. You might have, your ancestors might have died. You might die and leave and your stuff is still intact. But somewhere along the line, it's all going to fall. Somebody has to learn somewhere what is the righteous way, even the way of the Most High. The standard of the Most High is the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. There is no other standard. Your Esau doesn't have no standard. That standard was taken from the law given to Moses that came from the I am. There's no standards, nah. The angel Gabriel, he spoke to all the Spirit spoke, they say, to Muhammad. That is taken from the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of Moses, and sublimated into a book, and to say one man wrote that book. One man recited that book. He did not write it. This is why some of them have recitals. They learn the whole book by reciting it. It's good though. It's pretty good. I give that kudos. Yeah. We need to recite the whole law, understanding how to recite the old law. That's something even myself need to learn how to do, so that I know not to sin against the Most High. Psalms 119:9. Yes. He says in verse 10, pass through thy land as a river, O daughter of Tarshish. There is no more strength. He stretched out his hand over the sea. He shook the kingdoms, and the I am have given commandment against the merchant city to destroy the strongholds thereof. In other words, you going down, brother. You going down, sister. You, your families, and everything else, because you're just all out of it. And he said, thou shalt no more rejoice. All this wine and merriment because you have made yourself rich. You have people that bought things. They come and visit. Thou oppressed virgin, daughter of Zidon, not Zion, Zidon, arise, pass over to Chittim. There also shalt thou have no rest. In other words, those that come to you will have no rest. And again, behold, the land of the Chaldeans. This is Babylon. This people was not till the Assyrians founded it. And Babylon was one who was near the Assyrians. They the ones that have subdued the Assyrians. Founded it for them that dwell in the wilderness. They set up the towers thereof, and they raised up the palaces thereof, and he brought it to ruin. Yes, So you have the Assyrians, then you have the Babylons and the Chaldeans. They were allies. And then later you have the Medes and the Persians. Oh, my. How ye ships of Tarshish, was in verse 14, for your strength is laid waste. And it shall come to pass in that day that Tyre shall be forgotten 70 years. So God give them a straight 70 years to be forgotten, according to the days of one king. After the end of 70 years shall Tyre sing as an harlot. Yeah, you have harlots. They sing all over the place. Harlots. These are really, it's called whoredoms. Harlot is the same thing as the whore. Then you have the prostitute. We're still talking about Old English. This is old. This is translated so that you might understand it from the original whatever in Greek and then to Old English. Now, take a harp. You know how a harlot sing. You go into a club, you see the harlot singing. She's had many men, body count all out in the stratosphere. And then you have these harlots everywhere. This is why it's so important, young woman, that you and man and woman that are virgins, especially the women, to go into marriage as a virgin. And with the mother and the father and the mother requiring a bride price or the dowry of virgins. This should be even in the camps all over the world that call yourself after the name of Jacob. There's a bride price, there's a dowry of virgins, and you teach your children not to rebel. I've even seen some of the Igbo, they talk about that some women have gotten to the point where they detest the Old Testament and the way that the Igbo used to really been behaving about. You see them on social media everywhere, playing the role of the harlot or the whore. Yes, this is a promiscuous woman who is not married. An adulteress is a whole different story. She's married and she's still having many men. And then you have this people called polyamory. Really, there are men that are out of their gender. And this woman who cannot really provide, they're providing for this woman. She goes to work, they're not home cleaning and doing all these things. They have to work while she sits on her behind doing nothing. And then you ask yourself, once she has a baby, who's the father? See, this is why, and some of you are in polyamory, should I say, this polyamory relationships either way, because this woman is playing other men. But in ancient Israel, she would be deleted, period. Deleted, and the world can hark and come to war and send their carriers, but God don't care because it's the Most High's way. Right. Here you got countries that cause people to revolt against their government. The government just protects itself and tells these people, oh, go back, get back. And eventually they delete them. But then who calls these people, these simple-minded folks, to rise up against their government when the government hasn't done anything to them? Because they might not have a job or nothing like this. It's not the government's fault you don't have a job. But he tries to help you out when you don't have a job. But when that runs out, what can anyone do? You have to create it yourself. You have to do something yourself. You have to barter, you have to transfer, you have to trade with each other. It's not always money. Your mindset is gone. Money doesn't make you rich. It's having something tangible that cannot be printed. It makes you rich. Money is just a promissory note. That can be erased anytime. Paper money, even your silver, is not silver. That's a certain different metal and copper. That's all it is. But nevertheless, let's continue. We almost finished. He said, take it heart, go about the city, thou harlot, that has been forgotten. Make sweet melodies, sing many songs, that thou mayest be remembered. Because all she's singing is about her pleasure with men. Just like you hear today, it's no different. They just sing it in a different way. That's all. And it shall come to pass at the end of 70 years that the I Am will visit Tyre. Would this be the 70 years of Daniel? Or what 70 years is this? When God says 70, I'm going to give you a clue about Daniel. Where are we getting ready to go and where you need to study? When God says 70 years, when he gives you a certain time, God doesn't break that time. That time is straight forth and then. Else it's false. Anytime there was a time that God given any peoples throughout the history in this book or books, that time was completed, and after that time it occurred. Now you go to the 70 weeks of Daniel, and we'll meet you there eventually. If not, we'll all be up in a cloud of smoke. But all praises to the Most High anyway. He says, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth. Idolatry. How do you commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world? Idolatry, witchcraft, all manner of things that would be degradation. See, evil is only evil to the one that the harm is focused on. If I come to beat up a neighbor, that means I'm bringing evil upon that neighbor. Or if I come to take my goods back from a thief, I'm doing evil to that thief. That's evil to that thief, because he's counted what he's stolen from me his. But I'm getting it back because I got it right, not through evil. If you get what I'm saying. Now, this is why God has spirits that do evil. It's only evil to the person that it is done or it is performed on. That's who it's evil to. Think about the Old English. Think about the meaning of things. You have to really do these things because your mind will be messed up. You have to ask the Most High to open your mind, open your heart, get out of the matrix of things. See it. He says, she shall turn to her hire, the ones that she has working for her, and shall commit fornication with all the kingdoms of the world upon the face of the earth. And her merchandise and her hire shall be holiness unto the I Am. In other words, he's going to take all that gold and silver and put it in the temple. Yes, it shall. And it shall not be treasured nor laid up. Her merchandise shall be for them that dwell before the I Am, to eat sufficiently and for durable clothing. In other words, it's going back to Jerusalem. It's going back. See, that's why you say the wealth of the wicked is laid up for those who obey the commandments, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High. Not just the righteous. There are many people that's so-called righteous, but who puts I Am before anything? Who doesn't make images to bow down before him? It doesn't say you can't make images. It says if your intention is to make it to worship it, then that's a whole different thing. The pictures, the images, even spirits that you, even so-called men like your Isis and whatever rocks or whatever idols you have before, even a meteorite that came from the heavens that you worship or you stand before and you kiss it and you bow down before it. What is this? It's idolatry. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, regardless whether they're wood, stone, spirit, or whatever. It doesn't matter. That is idolatry. Even the son of Mary. Let's get it right. Mary had no son like that. Yeah, if there was a Mary at that time, for that Mary. But either way, she's committed fornications. She's worshipped their God. She stole. She steals. She done everything. and she shall turn to her hire. Could be her servants or goods or whatever. But in this thing, he's talking about how that she has committed fornication. She wasn't married to him, but she did her thing with him. Now, when you see the word fornication in the books, this is when the Greeks have translated it. This is when it was translated from Hebrew to Greek back into English, or Latin to English, something like that. That's what, when you see certain words, you find out where was this translated from. Now, one is taken from the Latin or certain other words, other civilizations, to be translated into English, and then it's set up to the point where you can understand it, or I can understand it, that speak English. And usually it's pretty good, yes. It says, and her merchandise and her hire shall be holiness unto the I am. It shall not be treasured nor laid up. In other words, no savings account, no display or nothing like that. For her merchandise shall be for them that dwell before the I am, to eat sufficiently. Her silk, her goodly apparel, and all these things shall be yours if you make your first love. Your first love is not Jesus. Yes, your first love, the first love of all mankind, is the I am. See how they just messed you up right there? That's your first love. That's the first love of all men, all things, all spirits. It's the first love, because love respects boundaries of the one that whatever the definition is supposed to mean. It respects the boundaries. It doesn't disrespect even the standards of the Most High. A woman to respect the boundaries of her husband. That is how he knows she loves him. A man respects his wife, and knowing that his wife she might not want another wife to be his wife. She might not want him to look at other men, and she makes that known, and he says, please her, to make her right, I won't do these things because I love her. Why should you? They mean nothing to you. You focus your heart upon that one woman, and the same thing with the man. She focused her heart on that one man. But the rest of them, no matter how robust and big and strong and you see in some of these doggone, should I say, social media where the woman actually start talking and accepting things from other men. No. A woman that had really purposed herself for her husband, just like one who purposed himself for the Most High, will not go there with it. Will not turn and accept anything from the heathen. Not their pork, not their, not their, should I say, scavengers. Even chicken. Chicken is a scavenger. Now, you have to do your research. God forgive you for your ignorance and forgave me for mine, but the fact is that if the wicked turn from his wickedness, then the Most High will not remember his wickedness, and that the righteousness that he do. Come on here. But now, yes, he says that the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the righteous in this situation here, in the context of this. Tyre is going to be led away captive, as I put this way, led away captive. Because of what? Her sin. Being a whore with other nations and doing that, which she's a part of Israel. But nevertheless, if we do those things that are right before the Most High and obeying the commandments, statutes, and ordinances that were handed to Moses to give to the children of Israel. It's not Moses' law, it's the Most High's law. It's Yahweh's law, it's Yahusha's law. Not Yahusha. Yahusha don't exist, but Yahuwah's law. We will have peace.